So, a very good afternoon to all present here, honorable guests and dear authors. I, Sumanj Barwal, moderator of this session, welcomes you all to the technical session 1A. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th International Conference on ICT for Sustainable Development, Goa, India. This 8th edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held in Goa, India on the 3rd of August 2023, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom today and tomorrow, that is 3rd and 4th of August. I hope that you all will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. So before starting, let me brief you about how the session proceeds. So in this session, we are having a total of 10 presentations. Each presenter would be getting 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for the question and answers. On 7 minutes, I'll raise a gentle reminder so that you can conclude your presentation as soon as possible. There is another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. So just before we get started, I would like to introduce the chair for this session with us. So we have Dr. Amita Sharma with us as the chair for this session. Dr. Amita Sharma is a senior assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and IT, the IIS University. She has more than 13 years of teaching experience. Her area of interest includes software engineering, networking and security, data mining and knowledge discovery, database systems, web services, Vedic science, and modern theories. It is a great pleasure to have you here with us, ma'am. Would you like to say something, ma'am, before we start with the session?
No, all the best to all the participants, and we can start as soon as possible.
Okay, sure, ma'am. So, can you all see the screen? So we have Dr. Amita Sharma with us, and let's start with the first presenter. We have Dhruv R. Makadia, and his paper title is A Machine Learning Method for Stock Market Price Prediction. So can you hear me, Dhruv?
Yes. Hello.
So now I would stop the sharing and you can start.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Yes, you are. Your screen is also.
Okay.
So you have 8 minutes and let's start.
Yes. So my topic is a machine learning method for stock market price prediction. So my paper ID is 118, and I would like to show the contributions made by different authors. That is me, myself, Janal Kodadia, Abhay, and Dr. Dweepna Garg. So first of all, what is the problem statement over here? So the problem statement is that there is a we all know about stock market. So what happens is that there are many investors and traders acting at the same time in the market and fluctuating the market, the shares in the market. So what happens is that there is a uh, there is a uh, price difference in all the stocks, and this creates a price action. So a price action is to be predicted and shown to the and we need to predict uh, the prices of the stock, and to do that there are certain difficulties that arises, especially for beginner traders. So actually, stock market is a very quick place, and it needs precision and decision making at the same time and at the right time. So there are three main factors that governs the price of any stock, that are day high, day low, and day open price. So if we get the relation between the close price versus data open price, close price versus day high price, and close price versus day low price, then we are able to uh, predict the further values, and we can minimize the risk of huge losses, and the beginner traders can gain some confidence over their strategies and can uh, have a chance to make some profit in the market. So these are some of the main factors that are needed to be known to predict some stock prices that can uh, that can be used in the future. So what was the approach for this is that we used multiple linear regression for this. So first of all, what is regression? So regression is a statistical method by which we can know the dependence of two factors upon each other, and we can then predict the future values of that factors. So for this, I took 50 NSE listed companies, and then I did the data collection and processing to find out this statistical trend, and then I compared the prices of a single stock, that is day close and day open. So by this I got that there was a linear uh, dependency of the close price with all the three factors, that are day open, day low, and day high. So I applied multiple linear regression over here because there were multiple factors that were governing a single price, that is the close price. So with help of that, I was able to find out the future values and plot an accuracy graph as shown here. I also made a GUI for this, and I would like to show my GUI over here. So this is the home page, so that whenever it comes into a real business model, it would look like this. And I have some visualizations over here for different uh, stocks that I took. For example, if we take here Tech Mahindra, then we can see the data frame over here. So the data over here is ranging from the first time when the stock was listed into NSE. That is, for example, over here Tech Mahindra was listed in 2006. So I have the data right from 2006 till the present date, that is 3rd August, and we can see there is open price, high, the day high price, the day low price, and the estimated closing price over here. So I have graphed up the closing trend, that is the closing price right from the beginning to till the present day. I also have a prediction page over here, which is able to give us an estimated predicted price from the model using the multiple linear regression. And we can also see some of the evaluation metrics over here. So this is showing the R2 score, mean absolute error, mean squared error, and root mean square error of the prediction that was made by the model. And by this we can see that the predicted price is at a very good position. So now coming towards the result analysis. So these are the overall R2 score, MAE, MSE, and RMSE of my model. And uh, these are the different methods that we can try out to find the to predict the price of any stock. That is naive Bayes model, ANN, support vector machine, and random forest. This data was took from the following research paper that I have cited in my paper also. Uh, Thank you.
So, ma'am, are there any questions?
Yes. Um, Just a short question. I hope you know what kind of data set you have. Is it a time series data or a simple data?
Yes, sir. It is, sorry, ma'am. It is time series data.
So
And
according, yes.
yes, ma'am.
So why haven't you used ARIMA model for prediction?
Sorry, ma'am. Which model?
ARIMA model.
Ma'am, actually, I am new to this field, so I am not currently aware about the ARIMA model.
So ARIMA model is the basic statistical model which works on time series data. So you can apply that model as well, since you are going to present it in some professional way. So it's better you apply time series models, even if you are going to apply neural network, for example, then neural network
Yes.
will also be applied in a different aspect. Generally, we can apply neural network on simple data set, then there is a different way. When we apply it on time series, then there is a different way to apply it. So before
Yes, ma'am.
applying any of the model, you have to just see what kind of data it is. Since you are using time
Yes.
series, then preferably use those model which best fit on time series. This is
Yes,
one of
yes,
my
sure.
suggestions. Otherwise, your work is very good, and definitely all the best. You will going to do much more better. But just focus on what kind of model you are going to choose according to your data. And one more thing, it will be beneficial if you also suggest why certain prediction is there. Like if it is closing on a particular rate, why such rate appears. That means the
Okay.
explanation about the prediction.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Then the outcome will be more acceptable by the users.
Yes, yes, sure, ma'am.
Okay, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dhruv, and thank you so much, ma'am. Let's move on to the next author. So we have G. Akhil, and his paper is Analysis of Smart Health Monitoring Systems. Can you hear me, Akhil?
Yeah, I can hear you so much.
Yes, so you can share your screen, and you got 8 minutes.
Just a second. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible. You may start.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm G. Akhil, and today I'm going to be presenting the paper analysis of smart health monitoring systems. So, uh, to introduce this topic, we must first know the significance of health. Uh, Quality of life. Good health is essential for a high quality of life, allowing individuals to engage in uh, enjoying, pursuing their goals, and to enjoy meaningful experiences. Health is also very important for productivity and performance. Maintaining good health enhances productivity and performance in various aspects of life, including work, studies, and personal endeavors as well. Uh, and the other point is disease prevention. Prioritizing health prevent the onset of chronic diseases, reduces the risk of illnesses, and promotes longevity. It also helps reduce healthcare costs because investing in maintaining good health through preventative measures can reduce healthcare costs associated with treating illnesses and managing chronic conditions. Long-term well-being. Prioritizing health contributes to long-term well-being, enabling individuals to enjoy a fulfilling life. And last but not the least, you can be a role model for others. Taking care of our health sets a positive example for family, friends, and the other community as well. So at the current moment, we have passed China to become the world's most populous nation, and we are currently at 142 crore people right now, which is the population of India. So due to this, there is a healthcare crisis where the doctor to patient ratio is very bad in India. So there are WHO recommends one doctor for 1,000 patients, but India's average is one doctor for 11,000 patients. That is more than 11 times bad than what WHO is recommending. So moving on to the problem statement, uh, as we already spoke, the doctor to patient ratio is pretty bad, resulting in imbalance in uh, lower number of doctors to the number of people present. Regional disparities. The shortage of doctors and scarcities is more prevalent in rural areas because there are less number of hospitals compared to urban areas, and this exacerbates healthcare access disparities between urban and rural population. Financial constraints. Many individuals in India face financial constraints that deter them from going to regular healthcare checkups, as they may perceive them as additional financial burden. And last but not the least is geographical barrier. The absence of clinics in close proximity to residential areas forces individuals to travel long distances, which is very inconvenient and discourages them from going to regular healthcare checkups. And the solution for these problems are by addressing doctor shortage. India's doctor shortage can be mitigated by implementing smart health monitoring systems, which allows for continuous monitoring of patients' health without the need for frequent physical visits to healthcare facilities and clinics. Improved healthcare access. Smart health monitoring systems helps individuals in enables individuals in remote and underserved areas to access healthcare services, receive timely medical attention, and benefit from specialized care remotely. Cost-effective healthcare. Smart healthcare monitors can help reduce healthcare costs by minimizing the need for hospital visits, emergency room visits, and unnecessary diagnostic tests, leading to more efficient and cost-effective healthcare delivery. Role of smart health monitoring. Implementing a smart health monitoring outreach programs can help bridge the gap between healthcare access by bringing health checkup services directly to the communities with limited clinic and doctor availability, overcoming geographical barriers. And moving on to the objectives, to solve all of these problems, we need to make early detection of health issues so that regular health monitoring allows for early detection of potential problems so that we can enable timely intervention and treatment. Remote and rural healthcare. By monitoring remote and rural communities, we can receive timely medical assistance rather than delaying the problems. Prevention and proactive care. Monitoring health parameters helps individuals take preventative measures to maintain good health rather than acting after a disease or a condition takes place. Reducing healthcare costs. By detecting health issues early on, we can prevent medical costs and in the long run. Personalized healthcare. Monitoring healthcare provides personalized insights into one's health and allowing for tailored approaches by the doctor and medical professionals. So this is the smart health monitoring system architecture, where the where we use a system to monitor users' data, and that data is sent to a cloud server where it is analyzed and various analysis is performed on the data, and then the user receives the health report as well as it is sent to a medical professional to guide the user. Coming on to literature review, we have seen multiple implementations of health monitoring systems where they use different technologies, and we came to find out the advantages and disadvantages of each of them. In the first one, it was a health monitoring system using Arduino and Bluetooth, Arduino Uno and Bluetooth, where it was simple and cost efficient, but Bluetooth is not really versatile and it is missing Wi-Fi and it is not really preferable. And moving on to the second study, it is an IoT monitoring system using DS18B20 temperature sensor, pulse rate sensor, and again Arduino and Wi-Fi module. Here we can see a Wi-Fi module is integrated, so that is a good advantage over the first one. But there are absence of sensors like oximeter and ECG where this can be improved. Voice health monitoring systems via smartphone and accelerometers. Here, custom monitoring is done using smartphone and an accelerometer, which is connected to the user or patient's neck. It is an extra device which is not really comfortable. So that is, and it is not as accurate as purpose sensors. So we can't trust completely on it. Electrocardiogram monitoring system using mobile phones. So this uses a ECG sensor which is connected directly to the mobile phone rather than using any microcontrollers, and it is highly accurate monitoring, but it only shows ECG data, which is not completely useful on its own because we need other data along with the ECG data.
Yes, sorry to interrupt you. Can you come to your conclusion part?
Yes,
what
ma'am.
you are going, what is your contribution in this research?
So we can see here they use various technologies, but we came to see that using Arduino Uno was the most efficient and cost-effective way because it is extremely popular and high in demand. So we can acquire many units, and it is very inexpensive as well. As opposed to a platform like a Raspberry Pi, which is 5 to 10,000, Arduino will come around 500 rupees. And we can use temperature sensor, ECG sensor, and pulse oximeter. And using all of these are the best components which are most accurate and for the most cheap price. And the user will input their details in an app, and this next they'll connect to with the device, which will collect the data, and the data will be uploaded to a server where calculations will be performed and it will be sent to the user. These are the expected outcomes from the device where
Sorry to disturb, Akhil, your time is over. So can you just conclude?
yeah, coming to the conclusion, as population increases, the doctor to patient ratio increases. Healthcare facilities age and operating costs rise. There is a necessity to go beyond the usual cost cutting techniques while ensuring good patient outcomes. This paper focuses on remote health monitoring systems using IoT technology. The conventional practices that are available for the realization and implementation of smart health monitoring systems are surveyed, and the challenges that are part of it are identified. This paper discusses methods of health monitoring where doctors are not required for health checkups. The system mainly focuses on those people who are unable to consult doctors due to various reasons. Based on this research, we concluded that the best approach for an affordable, accurate, and reliable health monitoring system can be achieved using the following hardware: Arduino, as it is sufficient for interfacing of various sensors and extremely affordable and easy to acquire as opposed to Raspberry Pi, ES18B20 for body temperature, MAX30100 for pulse rate, and SpO2 AD8232 for ECG, in addition with a Wi-Fi module. The measurements collected can then be sent to a cloud server and compared with the reference values and processed, after which the results of the analysis will be sent to the user and doctor via application. And to future scope of this project is can be done by adding blood pressure sensor to the system, adding blood glucose sensor, using a non-contact infrared temperature sensor rather than a physical sensor, using machine learning to predict future health parameters based on this collected historical data, and improving the security of IoT using blockchain. And that's it.
Okay, thank you, Harsh. Thank you, Akhil. Sorry. And ma'am, do you have any questions?
Just a quick question. Are you planning to design such system?
Yes, ma'am.
So in that scenario, you have to work a lot because the content you have present is not that sufficient enough to design the complete architecture. And another important aspect, the security aspect, which not only overcome through blockchain, there are many other things which you have to consider before designing such system. And
Yes.
if you are designing in context of Indians, then you have to design in context of local languages which they are offering,
Okay.
because
Yes, ma'am.
otherwise you'll design it in English, it is no use for them.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
everything you have to consider before landing up in designing such systems.
Yes, ma'am.
All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Akhil, and thank you, ma'am. So next up we have T. Charandeep Reddy, and his paper title is Autograder, a feature-based quantitative essay grading system using BERT.
Yeah.
T. Charandeep
Yes,
Reddy,
ma'am.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear. Okay, let
You
me
must
share my
share
screen.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Meghna, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You may start.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
A wonderful afternoon to one and all present here. Our presentation is on the topic Autograder, a feature-based quantitative essay grading system using BERT. Our paper ID is 134. We, Charandeep Reddy from BTech 4th year and myself Meghna from BTech 3rd year, under the guidance of Dr. C. Sindhu from SRM Institute of Technology, Chennai, are here to present this paper. Now Mr. Charandeep will take over.
Thank you, Meghna. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this exciting presentation on automated essay grading. We are here to introduce our approach that is using wet language model with convolution neural network and long short-term memory on dataset that is well famous for this auto grader, that is automated student assessment price. And also it demonstrates the effectiveness, achieving high accuracy and improving on the performance of the existing models. Moving on to the motivations, moving on to the next slide, we have motivation and objectives. Basically, reviewing a student assignment is very difficult for instructors, which is why we worked on it. And also the primary objective is to save time and effort for educators and also efficiently handle large submissions, make it feasible to create. Yeah, okay. And moving on to the next slide, novelty. Our model provides better accuracy when compared with other models, as it uses BET along with LSTM and CNN. Also, our model provides quantitative scoring based on various factors, which results in unbiased output. This is the literature review. In this slide, we can see our proposed approach includes optimal semantic model, adversarial detection, error-based evaluation, which are unaddressed in these features, which are, references. These features are lagging in the existing lookups. Moving on to the next slide. There is Intellimetric and Betsy. Basically, Intellimetric is a rule-based approach, which is actually helps in identifying specific errors. But Betsy is a statistical approach, helps to identifying overall quality of writing. And this automated evaluation for Arabic essays. It is also a statistical approach, but it can identify patterns in writing formats. Ultimately, the best model will depend on your specific needs. Okay. And this is the existing system. Automated writing evaluations is widely used by researchers, but it faces challenges with the technicality and low reliability, where is the current situation. And our proposed system, like comparing to the proposed system, where existing automatic writing evaluations usually give one score and focus on grammatical errors. But our model aims to improve accuracy and detect adversarial essays, and models tend to use methods such as domain adoption, mainly to reduce the bias of the model towards the known of essay types. And this is the proposed flow diagram for autograder from the start of the purpose to the end of the score prediction still here. And followed by the flow diagram of autograder. And this is the methodology. We collected a data set from Kaggle, which is a CSV file containing essays of 8 different prompts. Below the image contains of various essay types as well as their scoring ranges in different aspects. And moving on to the next slide, these are the steps for implementation. And the first step is data cleaning. It is the first step in preparing our essays for analysis. Also, it helps in removing tag labels and unnecessary expressions that will be taken care in this step for data cleaning, followed by extracting the handcrafted features, which includes spelling check, length of sentence, etc. Also, to ensure accuracy in grammar, punctuation, and spelling, language tool Python, which is very reliable tool, which identifies and correct errors in essays. And this slide is about this. Actually, this image shows about the selected handcrafted features of essays in our model and the methodology. This is like an data cleaning after feature extraction. After extracting essential features, we clean the data by removing unnecessary elements like stopwords, tags, and punctuations. Then we convert text into word, which makes it easier to analyze, which is very. And using BERT, we transform the text into vectors and split the data into 8 types based on each, essay prompt. Also, the models are tested on unseen data to ensure that they can generalize to new examples. Even the accuracy of the model is calculated, and the results are presented in graphical and tabular format in the coming slides. As we see in results, autograder model predicts 20 different scores across 8 sets, and the accuracy of each score is similar in the range of 0.7 to 0.85, and also with an average of 0.85. Also, this image shows the final kappa score, which is 0.821. This image outlines about the plots between the quadratic weighted kappa and running epochs. Sorry. Okay. Used by matplotlib. Comparison with other models. This means like an support vector mission or Bayesian linear regression with random and convolution neural network, long short-term memory. You can see the accuracy scores. But our proposed model, which is autograde average, is having the more when compared to the other models. This is why, it's almost like 0.82. Okay, moving to the next slide. In this, the following bar graph shows a set-wise average kappa score. We use the kappa scores to evaluate our model's
I
performance,
think you
and
can
it
come to
actually.
the conclusion part now.
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Like from the above inference, I can conclude saying that our model gives better accuracy, better robustness, better domain adaptability, in return giving better results.
You have designed such a
These are the references.
you have
And
designed a
thank you,
very
ma'am.
good model, and
Yes, ma'am.
it shows him a lot of
Actually, we
effort you
started
have.
this. Yes, ma'am. We started this work from the like our preliminary stages in pre-final.
Okay, so you have
When we are
put on a
doing,
lot of
when we are
effort
pursuing.
in
Yes,
doing
ma'am.
so. Just a quick question: why
Yeah.
haven't you used GPT model for this analysis?
Why we haven't used GPT model?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, this is an GPT is nothing but I know that is an generated pre-trained, I think.
Yes.
Uh, it is a very large model, I think. Even that OpenAI is still working on it to produce it. But the wet model, which is done some lot of research by Google researchers, they have
Mm-hmm.
created a lot of impact in this particular field.
Mm-hmm.
And using this complex like convolution neural network and long short-term memory, with that they have provided better results when comparing to the even the OpenAI. OpenAI is, actually it required some sustainable computational resources also. Some extensive training is required, and also we read a, I mean, we required a lot of data sets as well, which is by soon even we might work on that and we
And
may.
you have to work upon that,
Yeah,
because
ma'am,
in
sure, ma'am.
case of BERT, the BERT is have very poor performance on training. If we work upon the training aspect,
Yes, yes,
it is very slow in training the model in comparison
yes,
to GPT. Then you have to
yes,
shift to GPT
yes,
later
ma'am.
or sooner.
Yeah, ma'am, definitely.
Okay, all the best from my side. Good
Yeah, ma'am.
performance.
Thank you, ma'am, for your thoughtful questions and kind of words.
Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Charan Reddy. So let's move on to the next. So next up we have Parvati V. Parvati V, and her paper title is Challenges of Multimedia Education in the Lives of Human Beings. Parvati, can you
Am I
hear me?
audible?
Yes, you are audible. You may share a screen.
Okay, sir. Sir, is it visible?
Yes, it's visible. You have got 8 minutes, and you may start.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. This is my presentation. My presentation is titled Challenges of multimedia education in the lives of human beings. I'll give an introduction. The age in which we live is one of information technology, and we see it making an imprint in all fields, including education, jobs, and business. Multimedia plays a huge role in the dissemination of education by making breakthroughs in the quality of the content generated with the help of information technology that can give one access to any piece of information at one's fingertips. Learning with multimedia has both advantages and disadvantages. By using multimedia, learning can be made lively, interesting, and a stimulating one, but it can also lead to psychological problems among students if not utilized properly. Multimedia is a powerful tool capable of making great changes in the way people think, talk, and act, and its importance is only going to increase in the years to come. Time-bound and judicious use of multimedia with the supervision of parents is recommended, which can be of great use to students in improving their academic record and learning how to use internet and networking, keeping in mind their own safety and security. These are the advantages of multimedia: educating students through an effective learning strategy, versatility over traditional teaching pedagogy by using technology, helps in interpersonal communication, easy access and user friendly, stimulated learning experience, efficient and quick learning, logical problem solving, availability of vast amount of resources, better information exploration. Disadvantages of multimedia: addiction, lack of interaction, time consumption, marketing through multimedia, dependency on resources, and multimedia overuse. It distracts students from reality, finally ending up with virtual reality and cyberspace as their abode instead of giving importance to human relationships, family, friends, and people. Lack of productive interaction between students and teachers. This prevents students from getting necessary attention and care from their teachers as mentors during their growing up years. Multimedia and mental health. Human beings are social animals, and social life is a very important part of human life. Due to overuse and overdependency on multimedia, people at large do not socialize, leading to low self esteem and depression. The use of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Tumblr, YouTube, etc. has become very common today. It is high time they introspect the negative aspects of social media on you, as they often get misused for fake relationships and draws people, especially girls, into unsafe havens. Emphasis should be given on real and personal contact rather than virtual to improve one's mental well being and happiness. Over time, engagement with social media leads to inhibition dealing with people and situations in real life, loneliness, extreme despair, dejection, and even suicidal tendencies at large. Cyberbullying is perhaps the biggest menace in today's world of networking and connectivity. The dissemination of hate videos, religious, political, and even personal, leaves permanent wounds in the minds of children in their years of psychological and sociological development. Spending excessive time on multimedia makes people confined to self with no longer becoming a part of the society. The misuse of multimedia to cover up one's real self and project one as very happy, contented, and successful is a very detrimental tendency, with the reality being too depressing and annoying. Spreading awareness among children, teenagers, and youth regarding dangers in using social media is mandatory to maintain mental well being and ensuring good social life. Tackling the harmful effect of multimedia, reducing time spent on social media platforms. With this simple remedy, one can resume one's focus on daily requirements, concentrate on studies, as well as bring more efficiency and productivity in their jobs. Change of focus. Being specific about what to search on social media rather than merely scrolling the pages through the posts of your friends or relatives. going through the posts of dear ones, inquiring their well-being other than wasting time to check the posts of strangers over losing their friendship will be useful. Finding alternatives, becoming more active in the social circles by being religious, reading books of one's choice, opting for healthy entertainment options like listening to music, playing musical instruments, picking up a new hobby, exercising regularly, and going for a walk are a few de addiction procedures. Spending more time with offline friends, expressing gratitude or showing courtesy to others even for small favors. This can be practiced to feel rid of anxiety, stress, peer pressure, job related stress, and lack of satisfaction with the present situation. This also makes one feel more confident and energetic, saying no to unhealthy comparisons and competitions, and taking the leadership and volunteering, taking part in various competitions conducted by adventure clubs, sports clubs, community service organizations, festival celebrations, etc., can help a long way in making people feel very less lonely and well connected. Volunteering and offering help to others through NGOs and even spending time with pets can make one live a very happy and contented life. Volunteering from a young age makes children develop good leadership qualities, remain focused on studies, and be happy. These are some of the suggestions. Nowadays, human life is largely dependent on machines. Sitting at computer for a long time leads to a sedentary lifestyle, causing various lifestyle diseases. Adults as well as children need a fine tuning in their lives with a good amount of time to be spent on inculcating good habits and hobbies instead of relying on multimedia for entertainment. We have seen many online games
Can you please
claiming young
conclude
lives.
your presentation now, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Only this. This is the last slide, ma'am. We have seen many online games claiming young lives. Schools, colleges, universities, and other authorities avoiding multimedia overuse by monitoring the daily activities of students in their institutions. Multimedia can be used properly with the help of parents, properly checking, properly seeing to it that their children use multimedia judiciously. They ought to see that facilities like multimedia should be used in a proper way for learning purpose and not for getting distracted from everyday realities of life. The nation, as such, has a collective responsibility preventing the young from getting misguided in life due to easy access to multimedia these days. These are my references. Thank you.
Just a quick question, ma'am. Uh, how being a parent or being a teacher, how can we stop the student or the children to use the multimedia? Because even in education, we can see that it has been frequently used. What is your comment on that?
Ma'am, it can be made sure by the parents that they fix a timetable for them to work on the internet. Even though it is very important to use multimedia with regard to studies, they can reduce the time they are spending, and they can schedule their time uh, that they're spending on multimedia using internet.
Okay, thank you from my side.
Okay, thank you, ma'am, and thank you, Parvati. So next up, so next is Mr. Arvind Vishnu Bhatla, and his paper title.
Hello, am I
is
audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible. You may share your screen.
You can. It says the screen is sharing is disabled, right? Uh,
No, you may try it again. Still the same problem?
just 1 minute. That's it. No, I'm having a.
Are you having any issue with presenting?
Yeah, having an issue just for 1 minute, sir. Like, I'm not able to find the window in which we have, right?
Hello, sir. Are you there? Arvind, sir? No. Okay, then I think we must start with the next person. We'll take Arvind, sir, at the end. So next up we have Smriti Dwivedi, and her paper title is Partial Ground Inserted H-Shaped Antenna for Beyond 5G Applications.
Yes, sir. I'm audible, sir.
Yes, you are audible, Smriti.
Okay,
You may
sir.
share your screen.
Is it visible, sir?
Yes, it is visible. You have got 8 minutes and you may start.
Okay, sir. So very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Smriti Dwivedi. I'm from IIT BHU, and I'm going to present my paper on the topic of partial ground inserted S-shaped antenna for beyond 5G application. Now, these are my outlines: antenna basics, microstrip antenna, advantage, disadvantage, terahertz regime, material characteristics, design of inserted S-shaped patch antenna, result discussion, conclusion, and references.
Smriti, please make it slideshow. We are not able to see your presentation. Only one slide is visible.
Yeah,
Make it a
sure.
slideshow.
Actually, when I'm going to put, full screen, it is not coming.
No, it's you choose the slideshow option. So you have home, insert, design, and then on the top bar. So there's written slideshow. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Slideshow. I'm not getting where is it.
Just see the top bar of your screen. It's written home, then it's written insert, then design, then animation, and then slideshow.
Yeah. It is coming.
Yeah, then click start from the beginning or start from the current slide, whichever you feel.
Yeah. Is it coming? Hello, sir. Is it coming?
No. You didn't click it, I think.
I have clicked, sir, actually.
Okay, you can move like this only.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, so these are my outlines. Under this outline, the first of all, antenna. What is antenna? Antenna is an electrical device which converts a electrical signal into a electromagnetic signal and vice versa. We need an antenna for communication purpose, for television, mobile, point-to-point communication, satellite, and there are so many applications which can cover under the antenna. Now we are having a 6 different type of antenna, like wire antenna, microstrip antenna, array antenna, lens antenna, reflector antenna, and aperture antenna. And basically I'm doing on microstrip S-shaped antenna with polyimide material. Now here there are certain advantages and advantages which is associated with the microstrip antenna. So advantages are like that: lightweight, low volume, low fabrication cost, low cross polarization radiation, and compatible with the MIC design. Also disadvantage, we have the narrow bandwidth. This is the major problem. Low efficiency, low problem. We are having the surface wave radiation. Also this has a poor polarization purity. Now, actually, I'm working on terahertz frequency. So under this terahertz frequency, we are having the range from 0.1 terahertz to 10 terahertz, and the wavelength is from 3 mm to 30 micrometer. Here the frequency, it is very higher as compared to the microwave, but lower than the infrared frequency. So basically we have divided the frequency into two categories of the wavelength, 0.03 mm to 3 mm, and thereafter we are having below 1 mm. Below 1 mm, if we are having the terahertz radiation, this is known as a sub-millimeter radiation. For a long time back, we didn't have a terahertz sources, so researchers were not showing any interest in this type of frequency range. But thereafter, after 1990s, after the advances in the photonics, there was different types of solution are created to generate, to detect, and to modulate the terahertz signal. Now here we are actually doing beyond 5G application, means we are moving toward the 6G application. So we have divided the frequency range from 0.1 to 0.3 terahertz, which is sub-terahertz region, and thereafter we are having 0.3 to 10 terahertz. This is known as a pure terahertz regime. So thereafter, here I am using the material for as a substrate material, or you can say as a dielectric material. This is a polyamide. So polyamide is a polymer with repeating unit and is linked by the amide bond. There are two different types of polyamide we are having, like naturally and artificially, but here I am using the artificial polyamide, which is actually a nylon armamide or sodium polyasparate. So basically we are having the artificial or the synthetic polyamide, which actually use in a textile, automotive industry, carpet, kitchen utensil, and sportswear. Now here, these are my design parameter for the design of S-shaped antenna, which is a partial ground structure, means we are not taking the fully ground structure. And here we are having, these are the parameters for the substrate as well as the patch, and for the second patch. Now, this is the structure that actually I have designed. I have taken three structures here. First, I have designed the rectangular patch antenna. Then I have cut the rectangular patch antenna from the middle. And also I have cut the square patch antenna from both corners of the rectangular patch antenna. Then I have inserted the S shape. That is, I cut the S shape. This is known as S shape inserted antenna. All the parameters are same for the ground as well as for the substrate. Now, this is the S11. S11 is very important parameter for the antenna calculation. Like it actually tell us about the how much gain we are getting. So here it should be less than -10. So here we are getting the three different types of design. For first design, we are having -20 dB S11, that is the return loss. And for second design, -25. And for the third design, I'm getting -28. And all we are getting at 3.5 terahertz frequency, that is the pure terahertz region. Now thereafter, these are the radiation patterns for three different types of design. So this is I'm getting for 3.5 and terahertz, and these are the cumulative gain plot. And here for the first design, that is for rectangular patch, I'm getting 13.5 dBi gain. For the second design, I'm getting 14.4 dBi, and for the third design, which is actually the partial ground S-shaped antenna, I'm getting 14.8 dBi. So this is the gain for the antenna. Now this is the bandwidth for every design. That for first design 100 gigahertz, and for second 250, and for third that is 400 gigahertz. So I'm getting 400 gigahertz bandwidth, which is very much high as compared to the previous designs. Now this is the conclusion. So there are several key features that I have discussed here, like return loss, gain, bandwidth, and I have also designed in this paper like single patch, double patch, and inserted S shape, and I'm getting the 14.8 dBi, the maximum gain with the bandwidth of 400 gigahertz. And further, we can improve the design by using the meta material or meta surfaces, and we can also improve the frequency range for this particular antenna. Now these are my references. Thank you very much.
Very good presentation, and definitely it is a very good work. Only my question is, since you have already presented in your presentation that the chip which you are using for the antenna purposes has a power issues. So don't you think you should work upon that part also while designing the particular antenna?
Actually, can you repeat, ma'am? I'm not getting your voice, ma'am.
See the antenna type you have chosen for your result, for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
experiment. You have
Yes,
taken
ma'am.
a particular type of antenna.
Yes, ma'am.
So while discussing your antenna type, you
Yes, ma'am.
mentioned that this antenna has an issue related with the power.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Low power. Yes, ma'am.
Low power. So
Yes, ma'am.
have you worked upon that also, or you're thinking that in future you're going to work on that limitation, or whether the material you have used will lead to
Yes,
that
ma'am.
issues in this kind of antenna?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, material is responsible to improve the power. Material as well as
How this
design.
material will help you? How this material will help you?
Because of, ma'am, the
Okay.
dielectric constant, that is the epsilon value, can help very much in design of antenna. And also the design is responsible. If you are having only the simple patch antenna, then we will have a low power. But if you are going to cut, or we are going to use the slotted antenna, we will get the high power. That is the that we can resolve the issue.
Ma'am, any further question?
This is what I want to present now.
Yes, sir. Just a minute. You will go after this one. Amita ma'am, can you hear me? Saying Amita ma'am has some connections issue. Just a minute, sir. Please be ready with your presentation. I would be calling you in a minute. Hello, Amita ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I was just disconnected.
Yeah, no problem, ma'am. Vishnu sir, sorry, Arvind sir, you may present your screen.
Yeah, you're able to see now?
Yes, we can see your screen. We can hear you. You got 8 minutes and you may start, sir.
So this is an exam proctoring system which we envisage to make. An exam proctoring system through surveillance cameras is a software-based solution that utilizes surveillance cameras to monitor and manage exams, right? The system is designed to help institutions maintain academic integrity by preventing cheating and ensuring that students follow exam rules and guidelines, right? So the system typically uses video cameras, audio recording devices, and facial recognition software to monitor students during exams. The software is configured to detect and flag suspicious behavior, such as looking at notes, speaking with others, and accessing unauthorized websites. Right? The system also has features that allows you to proctor to remotely monitor students and intervene if necessary. So, for example, if the system detects suspicious behavior, the proctor can review the video footage in real time and contact the student to stop the behavior. So, can you see this is just an example of what I have put here. An exam proctoring system through surveillance cameras provides an added layer of security for exams and helps institutions maintain academic integrity. Right? So basically, while you are sitting in one place, you can actually monitor different types of people. And what happens is, to make the system even more robust, what happens is each student is assigned a unique barcode which is printed on his exam ticket. Then a database of these barcodes of all the students in the class with their respective seating positions is made. Then what happens is the same chart is on his seating plan as well as on his answer book. So this is an example of a OMR sheet, and this is the barcode. So during the exam, students will write their answers in the booklets and must ensure that they match the barcode on their answer book with the one on their sheet, right? So key thing is, we are working on this as a student project to develop a set of rules or criteria for identifying the behavior that someone is cheating, such as looking off screen, frequently talking to someone off screen, or searching for answers on the internet. Right? So there are several ways you need to check whether you are using a cellular device, or you are exchanging papers, or you are having slips in your pocket using cheat sheets, or you're looking at another student's exam paper, and the other one is non-cheating. So what we need to do is, we need to actually create a training data set. So before the exam starts, what we do is we create a training data set, and then what we do is we extract features from this. So there are statistical methods, similarity methods, and clustering based methods. And we use things like Haar cascades and histogram of gradients and convolutional neural networks, and we use different transforms. So this is our state machine. So in the state machine, you are either idle, then you are checking, or a state, then you are monitoring, and then the state is complete. So you have different events in the exam, such as event start exam, event phase detected, event phase lost, event movement detected, event exam complete. And what we do is we write this state machine And what we use is, we use feeds from different cameras. So if someone is really not responding, we can actually talk to him on audio, right? So basically, the camera detects face not detector or detected as phone, right? Key thing is to be able to train. Can you space and to look at face pattern and what patterns are trained in neural network initially. Okay, and then whenever there's an anomaly, what we are able to do is we are able to make a prediction error. So what we have is we have a training method, and we have eye movements and head movements and mouth opening and identity. So we calculate all the features and then we complete the training. And once the actual recording comes, give this, and we use the weights which we have used in the training to classify whether a person is cheating or not cheating. So this is a different type of monitoring you can do. So what we do is statistical anomaly detection using machine learning to analyze large amounts of data and identifying patterns that deviate from the expected norm. Okay. So basically what we do is, supposing you have a foreground and a background, then you can have something Hurst parameter. A Hurst parameter goes only from 0 and 1. So supposing H is 1, there is very good match, right? Similarity match. If H is 0.5, which is green, can you see matching is only 0.5, and if H is 0.2, there's a lot of deviation, right? In the futuristic analysis, what we really want to do is integrate this kind of a learning system with AI, so that we can even identify that whether the candidate who's writing the exam is in the database, and for some reason someone is not impersonating on his behalf, we can calculate AI-based statistics and extending further. This is still an ongoing project, and I would like any questions if you want. So what I do is I'll end the show here.
It
and
is
I
a
stop
very good
sharing.
presentation and really very good project. I just want to know what about the entry level when a student get into the examination, and as in
He has to
general way
register,
when we have,
madam. He has to register,
okay,
and then
okay. So
he has to
for
register in the
registration,
database of his.
he or
Only
she
after
has to
registration,
present the ID card.
yeah. After registration, you have to present your ID card. ID card has a barcode. Same barcode is used on his exam sheet as well as on his answer booklet. So what
Okay,
happens
okay.
is we ensure that someone is not impersonating.
Okay. Thank you from my side.
Okay, madam. Thank you so much. Madam, I have
Thank
a
you.
meeting. Can I
Yes,
just
sir.
get out of the meeting? Because I have a meeting
Yes,
to
sure.
attend, right?
Yes,
sure,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
thank
No
you.
Definitely.
Okay, so thank you, Arvind sir, and thank you, Amita ma'am. So now let's move on to the next author. We have R. Punitha Lakshmi, and her paper title is Prediction of Stroke from Hand Patterns Obtained Using Spiral/Wave Test Through Densely Connected Convolutional Neural Networks. Can you hear me, Lakshmi?
Sir, is it audible now?
Yes, you are audible. Please share your screen for the
Yes, sir,
presentation.
I'll share. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. My paper title is Prediction of Stroke from Hand Patterns Obtained Using Spiral or Wave Tests Through Densely Connected Convolutional Neural Networks. My paper ID is 148. This is the outline of my presentation. Introduction to stroke, classification of stroke, literature survey, followed by the existing work and limitation, research objective, proposed work, software and the hardware requirements, data set, performance matrices of the stroke. So what is stroke and what is the introduction for stroke is? Stroke is nothing but the interruption of blood supply to the brain. Here we'll be having three types of stroke. First thing is ischemic stroke, hemorrhagic stroke, and transient ischemic stroke. So ischemic stroke is nothing but it is the obstruction within the blood vessel supplying blood to the brain. Hemorrhagic stroke is nothing but when the blood vessel rupture, there occurs the splitting of blood around the region. So it is called hemorrhagic stroke. Transient ischemic stroke, it is also called as a mini stroke. So these are the three types of stroke. Sir, is it audible now?
Yes, you
Yes,
are
you are
audible.
audible.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Sir, thank you. So the next thing is we have three more classification of ischemic stroke. The occurrence of ischemic and hemorrhagic stroke when compared is ischemic stroke is more common among the patients. So you'll be having thrombotic stroke, small vessel localization, cardioembolism, and cryptogenic stroke. So based on the location, we can divide all the strokes. And hemorrhagic stroke, we'll be having two types, subarachnoid hemorrhage and intercerebral hemorrhage, based on the region of which the stroke is being affected. So based on this, we'll be having two types of stroke. So how we are going to assess the stroke? So there are two methods. Either the doctor can go for computer tomography, that is CT, or can go for MRI of that region. So other thing is, this is called pre-hospital stroke scale. That is, a doctor first, he will check for the basic symptoms like whether the patient is having any facial drop. Facial drop in the sense if he can smile in the normal way or if there is any abnormality, he'll be checking. And next thing is, he'll be going for checking the arm position, whether he can lift the hand or not. Next thing is based on the speech. If there is any confusion in the speech, they'll be checking. So if anything of this three, if any one of this is abnormal, we can say that the probability of stroke is 72%. So how we are going to measure the stroke is by using modified ranking scale. Here there are 6 grades of stroke, that is grade 1 to grade 6, based on the disability or based on the condition of the patient. Here they have divided this into 6 grades of stroke. So this is the literature survey. My base paper is detection of the Parkinson disease using the spiral diagram using convolutional neural network. Here the proposed work, it deals with the convolutional neural network. So here the feature extraction is automatic and the accuracy obtained is about 83%. The next paper is deep learning based stroke disease prediction system using real-time biosignals. Biosignals in the sense they have taken EEG signals, EMG signals, and through that they have built a prediction model. The next paper is artificial intelligence based stroke disease prediction system using real-time electromyography signals. Here they have the limitation of the paper is they have went for random forest classification. So we can say that the accuracy obtained here is only about 80%. So how we are going to overcome all these disadvantages? What is the existing work is? Existing work, the detection of Parkinson disease using spiral or wave diagram using convolutional neural network. So we can hear a small relationship is being taken. That is, a patient suffering from ischemic stroke, they'll be having some impairment in the handwriting. That pressure and speed of it is noted, and we can say that how much severity the patient is being affected from. So for that, a convolutional neural network is being built, and here the accuracy percentage is about 83, sensitivity is 92, precision is 78, specificity of 75% is being obtained. So what are the disadvantages of existing model? As it is related to the medical health condition, the accuracy has to be more. Here we have got only 83% using traditional CNN model. Next, hand and brain coordination is being measured. So it will not be same all the time. So I consider this as a disadvantage of the existing model. So based on this, I have framed the research objective. So apart from stroke, we have to detect other major neurocognitive diseases and automatic prediction of disease, grade and type we have to identify, and location and severity of the disease has to be without affecting the patient, we have to get all these things. So this is the overview of the proposed method. First thing is spiral and the pattern is being taken. Next thing is histogram equalization and how we are going to extract the features using DenseNet. So neural network, this is a small introduction. It has input layer, hidden layer, output layer. We'll be having 3 layers.
I think you can come to the conclusion part with your results and your conclusion.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So this is the proposed work. Instead of taking single layer, we're going for multiple connection, that is dense layer. So this is the implementation part, and this is about the data set I have collected from the patients in the hospital. In spiral healthy and wave healthy patterns we have collected. And this is about the dataset specification, total number of images from Kaggle I have obtained this. This is about the number of subjects, age and gender. So this is the results and conclusion part. From the matrix of confusion, we can say that the true positive images is about 107. So out of total 223, the mission has predicted 107 images as true positive value. And so when comparing to existing and proposed work, this is all the result. Accuracy is about 95%, sensitivity is 96, and specificity is 94%. So these are the advantages of this system. Without human, we can say that I can predict the stroke automatically. And if there is a large number of data sets also, I can handle easily by using DenseNet. So it can handle images, text, and audio also. So these are the disadvantages. Overfitting may occur in the DenseNet. Next thing is it requires many resources. Next thing is the data set based on the quality of the data, the result it will be. So these are the applications of the model. It will serve as a biomark to predict the stroke. So I can say that with other types of stroke like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, and frontotemporal disorders can also be identified by this system. So these are the references. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Is there a possibility of using the optimization model with this?
Yes, ma'am. By altering the metrics in the data set, we can do, ma'am.
So is it required for your system?
Optimization, if the data set is large, we have to go for optimization, ma'am. Here the number of data set available is very low, so I went for data augmentation, and after that I have included all those things.
And what about the feature reduction? Have you work upon that? Is because
yes, ma'am.
Definitely you will not work on 100 data set. You will going to increase the data set in future if this is your research. Then in that case, the number of features generated in images are too high to handle. So for
yes,
that
ma'am.
reason.
Yes, ma'am.
What else apart from CNN you're going to use in your future work?
Ma'am, here yes, ma'am, I have used DenseNet here. So next for the next thing I have planned to come doing the LSTM network.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lakshmi, and thank you, ma'am. Let's move on to the next.
Thank you, sir.
So next up we have Dhruva R. Rinku, and her paper title is RTOS Schedulers for Periodic and Aperiodic Task Set.
Good afternoon. Am I audible, sir, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible. Please share your screen.
Yes. Sir, is it visible, the screen?
Yes, the screen is visible. Can you please switch to the slideshow for that? And you've got 8 minutes. You may start.
Is it showing the slideshow, sir?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's showing. You may start.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, participants, sir. My paper ID is 78. I am Dhruva, Dr. Dhruva. My co-authors are Dr. M. Ashani, ma'am, and Krishna Surud. And my title of the paper is Auto Schedulers for Periodic and Aperiodic Task Set. So the objective of this work is to evaluate real-time scheduling algorithms, the well-known real-time scheduling algorithms, rate monotonic and earliest deadline first scheduling algorithms, and depends afterwards we have designed a new scheduling algorithm with the URM test. And we have considered the criteria to define those are the when the overhead for the CPU, response time, utilization, and deadline. So we have used the SIMSO scheduling algorithm, SIMSO simulator, which is open source simulator for multiprocessor as well as single processor architecture, and it is assuming the overhead of the context switch and scheduling decisions, minimizing that and giving the output to evaluate and to design a new scheduling algorithm for the real-time operating system. We can work with the what you call Windows or Linux or Mac OS with the use of the Python language to write a scheduling program. So here we have criteria considered are task response time, which is the time spent between ready, because task goes for the ready state to when it gets the CPU first time, and when task goes to run state. So that we have considered which scheduling algorithm is giving better output for that. We have considered the utilization of CPU and task deadline as well as the overhead for the task. When it is changing from one state to other state, that is context switch. And this is the state diagram for any task. Task comes to the ready queue, and from ready state, it goes to the run state whenever it gets the CPU. In between, it can go to suspend state if it is waiting for some event to occur or any higher priority task.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you come to your work specifically
Sure,
and just discuss the results?
Sure.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am. So we have designed the preemptive scheduling algorithm in the in the SIMSO simulator. The first algorithm we have designed is the rate monotonic scheduling algorithm, and another scheduling algorithm is earliest deadline first, and then URM based scheduling algorithm. So as we know that rate monotonic scheduling algorithm is designed for the periodic task only. So the task which is having the less period, I mean occurrence of the task is more, that task get the higher priority. And RM is the fixed priority scheduling algorithm. So designed it and evaluated it. So for working with the rate monotonic scheduling algorithm, this is the criteria that utilization factor of the each task should be whenever the task total utilization utilization CPU utilization if lesser than 1, it can be assigned, it can give the optimal output. And this is the formula. U is equal to n into 2 power of 1 by n minus 1. So n is equal to number of tasks. So by general, it is going for 0.69. So if it is less than 0.69 or equal to 0.69, the RM scheduling algorithm gives the optimal or feasible output. If not, we have to assign to the scheduling algorithm, and we have to generate the Gantt chart to check whether it gives the optimal output or not. So the optimal output is if task is any task in the task set is not missing the deadline. To evaluate the rate monotonic scheduling algorithm, 3 tasks we have generated. The synthetic task data. Here task 2 is the deadline or the period, and 0.5 is the execution time. For T2, 3 is the period and deadline, 1.2 is the execution time. Same way T3, 6 is the deadline and 0.5 is the execution time. By looking, task 1 has the periods is 2, so occurrence of the task is more. So task 1 is getting the task 1 get the higher priority according to the rate monotonic scheduler. So calculated the utilization factor, and that is 0.73. This is the equation that execution time divided by period, and considering all the task utilization factor, which is 0.73. And when we use that formula, n into this formula, u into n, u is equal to n into 2 power of 1 by n minus 1. So n is equal to 3 for this example. So which is, so utilization factor is 0.73, and for 3, this is the ULUB is the 0.75. So it will definitely give the feasible output, optimal output. So this is the input has been given to the SIMSO simulator, and this is the Gantt chart for CPU. One CPU only is required to execute this 3 tasks. So no task is missing the deadline by this RM scheduling algorithm has been checked. So this is the response time for task 1, response time for task 2. At every occurrence, because it is periodic task, the response time is same, and same way for task 3. But we checked again for the whether RM is supporting sporadic tasks. RM is designed for the periodic task. We have implemented to check for the sporadic task. So sporadic task has introduced at the 50 time slice and checked the output with the Gantt chart. So if we see here, red line is there. Task 4 is missing the deadline because sporadic task cannot be optimally feasibly, it cannot be run with the RM scheduling algorithm. Sometimes it can assign when the slack time is available, but in this example, task 4 is get aborted and it is missing its deadline. So then we have implemented, because this is the disadvantage of real-time.
You just show your results and then you just conclude.
Yeah, ma'am, this is our result. We have implemented.
So this is your algorithm's output?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. RM, the rate monotonic scheduling algorithm. And this
okay,
is
then just conclude.
Yes, ma'am. And then EDF also we have implemented, and with EDF the Liu has designed that theorem that it should be utilization factor. If it is 1 also, it can give them output. It can physically execute the sporadic task also. So this is the Gantt chart for the earliest deadline first scheduling algorithm, where task 4, which is sporadic task, also running without missing its deadline with the EDF, ma'am. And then EDF has been designed when the utilization factor is increasing 1. So we have checked that also. When the utilization factor is increasing the 1, then task 4 is missing the deadline. That is the red line. The simulator is generating the Gantt chart, and so task 4 missed the deadline. So definitely we need to go for the multi-core processor. So when we go for the 2 cores, no task has missed the deadline with the Gantt chart. And then
we have to the end, Dhruva, because 8 minutes is over.
Pardon me, sir.
So you have exhausted your time. It's 8 minutes. Please come to the end of
I'll conclude it. And this URM-based scheduler we have implemented. This is the formula has been designed, and depends on this formula, program has been written, and check that with the URM-based scheduling algorithm, which is the compared to this 2 RM and the traditional RM and EDF, this is giving better output. To check that, we have generated 11 synthetic tasks and implemented and generated the Gantt chart. All the tasks are meeting the deadline, and it is executed on the 3 cores, 1, 2, and 3 cores, and it has implemented with the better way. So this is the conclusion of this work. Implemented and evaluated RM and ADF, and new scheduling algorithm, that is URM based scheduling algorithm, has been implemented, ma'am. Thank you.
It's a very good work. Just a add-on you can do, if we add priorities in this, then definitely the result will be much more different.
Yes, ma'am. To assign the priority in the RM, whichever task is coming Yeah, an EDF deadline first, it is dynamically change the priority in the EDF, ma'am. As well as the new task when it come as arrive in the URM test, every time the test will be occurred, and wherever URM is less, the running task will get preempted and this task will start running. So we are assigning priority also dynamically, madam.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, Dhruva, and thank you, Amita.
Thank you,
Let's
sir.
move on to the next author. So we have Vanishri Pabalkar, and her paper title is SCADA in healthcare. Can you hear me, Vanishri?
Yes, sir, I can.
Okay, ma'am. So
I
please
think,
share your
yeah,
screen.
I'll just share my screen. So kindly confirm if it is visible.
Yes, Vanishri ma'am, it's visible, and
Yeah.
you have got 8 minutes. You may start.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to one and all present here. The title of the paper is SCADA is in Healthcare. Paper ID is 146. I'm Dr. Vanishri. With me is Mr. Rashkumar Verma. We are from Symbiosis, and the other author is from Imaginary Private Limited. To begin with, SCADA, when we talk about the acronym of SCADA is Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. So when I'm referring to SCADA, it is a system that plays a significant role in supporting and ensuring remote access, along with monitoring and controlling of systems through critical infrastructures. So what does the SCADA actually do is, this is a computer-based system for gathering and analyzing the real-time data in order to monitor and control the equipment that deals with critical and time-sensitive materials and events. SCADA basically, what this is a combination of hardware and software into a real time. For example, if we consider healthcare sector or we consider manufacturing industry, let's say, SCADA is actually used to monitor all of the automated process and it will control the process. So basically, the SCADA architecture comprises of HMI. HMI is the one that is human-machine interface, which facilitates this interaction. The structure design or the architecture primarily of SCADA talks about PLC and RTU. When I'm referring to PLC, I'm referring to programmable logical controllers, and RTU is remote terminal units. And these are the ones which interact with the field services, field devices. So when I'm saying field devices, what I'm trying to say here is all those machines or the tools or the walls or the equipments which are in the devices which are used, and the entire access is through remote. So PLC and RTUs are the microprocessors that interact with the field devices here. This data, now when we are referring to data, this data is collected from machines. This is not vendor specific now anymore, which was vendor specific at a given point of time. That means if I buy walls or machines from different vendors, it was difficult for SCADA to interact with each other through remote processing. But now this is not a limitation. So this data is sent to PLC. From PLC, the data is distributed to a system of network devices like sensors through HMI. And this entire thing can be seen on a graphical representation for better output. So this data will detect the consequences of SCADA data breach. So I can conduct an operation, I can have which is conducted remotely. I can have the manufacturing process done in the plant, and I am at a remote location and I'm controlling all of it through all these HMI systems. So SCADA can control in the healthcare system and can achieve centralized monitoring system. So subsequently, let's say when we had pandemic, for instance, SCADA would have been of great help. It has been of great help in many sectors. Through this, what we are trying to say is in health sectors, in hospitals, we are trying to get SCADA into system. In India, it is not very much prevalent till date, and it is not yet used. And though it is used in manufacturing and other sectors, not very prevalent in the hospitals, which we are trying to say with this paper. This is the review of literature where we talk about SCADA playing a vital role in hospitals, manufacturing, power systems, which is a study. Then the other study talks about advancement in technology and presence of big data, which can be extracted through SCADA sensors. It becomes imperative to devise the tools which will enable the inconsistent models in SCADA. This is going to help, and it is going to help to arrive at desirable solutions in predictions and detection with SCADA. So the research questions primarily that we had when we thought of writing a paper on SCADA were which security measures are required to effectively reduce the risk level, and the ones that are going to help and assist and support the missions of the organizations as per their operational needs. Has this chosen security control exposed to practice, or is there any implementation strategy that is workable, and is it in place at all? And to what extent this must be chosen, which will be a secured system, and the solution of all of this struck to us with something called SCADA. It can have three architecture systems. The first one was the monolithic, second the distributed, and third one was the network. And these are the functions that SCADA has. It ensures and controls processes. It can be remotely or locally done. It interacts with industrial equipments like machines, sensors, valves, motors, etc. It produces access to real-time data. It records and archives the history, which can be subsequently used by the members who weren't very much conversant with the technology or other for processes in the industry. That these advancements are expected in line with data-driven technology and machine learning algorithms as well. This talks about the SCADA host platform. So with the help of the data that is derived through this remote process, accounting, maintenance management, material purchase, everything can be done. This has encouraged SCADA host software platform to adopt standards and mechanisms to support interfacing to these systems. Now, that means what in the IT sector with advancement of technology, this SCADA has actually separated, and it is helping to a very great extent to maintain networks, database interference, and accessing of the user data. So as I mentioned a while ago, SCADA with the help of RTU, PMC, HMI, this can be part of HITRUST. HITRUST is Health Information Trust Alliance, and HIPAA, which is the Health Insurance Portability Accountability Act. These hospitals would, deal with HIPAA to a very great extent, and the tool to assist healthcare organizations and service providers in adhering HIPAA's privacy and security requirements is HIPAA compliance software. HIPAA establishes the bar to safeguard patients' private information. PHI handling organizations are required to implement physical network, procedural safety guards, so on and so forth. So when we are referring to this, I'll go to the, SCADA, how is it actually relevant in the hospitals? It is the requirements for each hospital can be really particular and specific based on the size of the hospital, number of beds available in the hospital. So if SCADA is in place in these hospitals, this is going to enable to operate even in adverse conditions. Let's say there's a power shortage, for example. Let's say there's a natural calamity, for example. Even in such conditions, the doctor being elsewhere can still go ahead with the operation and therefore saving the life of the patient. The only thing is communication is between the machines and the software. So the software has to be upgraded, and it has to be, in a position where everything is very much
I think you can come to the conclusion part.
Yeah.
What is the takeaway of your...
So in this, what we have tried to do is to study SCADA, how exactly can it be used in the hospital systems, as I mentioned, in the healthcare systems. These are all the, benefits or the merits. It will save on your cost. It will be fast and accurate. It will be coordination for the health experts, use of digitalization, dynamic process, remote access enables using of extreme level of infrastructure and saving on the cost. And this is through web browsers, which is considered to be secure, safe, and sound. Here we've compared DNP3 and 101 protocols which are used in the system. So in DNP3, it will be point-to-point and point-to-multi-point. So the communication can be from different points, while in the earlier one, IEC101, it will be only from one point to another, which acts as a limitation. This is a table which talks about all the systems that are present or the differences in DNP3 and IEC101 when we're using as protocols in the SCADA system. In the discussion, we talk about, as I mentioned, doctors and patients. It's a great learning. It's going to be of great help for all of this in the healthcare sector. Though there are challenges with HIPAA and HITRUST, if it is in the place, SCADA can be of great use. And of course, when we talk about security measures, cyber security framework will be used to maintain the data. So the patient's data will not be leaked. It will be authentic because of the cyber security being in place. And in future, we can talk about LED projections, eye to eye movement, eye tracking, HMI, displays, control rooms, realistic picture of remote tools, machine relating to data equipped with technology, and other things like drones at domestic vehicles with no drivers, perennial servants, leak detection through pipelines, which is at the domestic level itself, and other infrastructures. These experts suggest rampant use of SCADA, and through with different industries, they are still not yet adopting SCADA to a very great extent, but this cuts down to the cost and saves very much of energy and is very effective tool is what our study talks about. These are the set of references that we have looked into. That's all, ma'am, from my side.
Just a quick question. Can you just tell me how you visualize a SCADA in context of Indian perspective?
Yeah, ma'am. As I mentioned, in the Indian context, though SCADA in the manufacturing sector has been prevalent for quite some time from 1970s, and it has advanced to a very great extent in manufacturing sectors. But with health sector, it has not yet been very prevalent. And considering the literature, looking at the various studies that we have looked into, which were of course relating to other sectors, where we realized it is going to be a great aid in saving the patient's life. I mean, imagine the scenario when we were hit with pandemic for a couple of years badly. Imagine a doctor sitting at one end and getting into operations and treating the patients at other end, just with help of SCADA as the remote access is provided. So yes, it's going to take a while. It's going to be a little, process through which we have to travel through to get there. But yes, if at all we get there, there's going to be no looking back with SCADA in healthcare systems.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Vanishri ma'am. Let's move to the last author for this session. We have Shelja A.R. and her paper title is Secure Data Education, Leveraging Big Data for Enhanced Academic Performance and Student Success in Educational Institutions. Vanishri ma'am, can you please? Shelja, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So please share your screen, Shelja.
Yeah, yes, sir. Is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible. And can you please switch to the slideshow mode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Shelja, you got 8 minutes. You may start.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'm going to give a presentation on secure data education, leveraging big data for enhanced academic performance and student success in educational institutions. I'm going to present this paper on behalf of my co-authors, Shubhashri D.A., Dr. Shriyari M.R., Manjuna T.N., and Ajay N. Our paper ID is 152. And as we know that nowadays the data is getting generated in a large volumes in every field of the society, that may be in the universities, hospitals, or in marketing. In order to handle this large volume of a data, we need some tool in order to handle it in a proper way and in order to gain the insights from the data that is getting generated. So for this purpose, we use a big data applications like a Hadoop, Hive, Apache Spark, and all those things. In educational sector, big data can be used to store this to institutional data, and we can gain the insights from the data that is being stored, and we can increase the outcomes that from the institutions. And we can also increase the results and from the institutions, and we can improve the overall performance of the institutions. Then big data analytics. This is a process of using advanced analytical techniques in order to process a big data and for finding and analyzing the hidden patterns that are present in the data that will help in better decision making. Here we are using a Hadoop framework. This is an open source framework that is being used to store and process a large volume of a data. Here we are using a HDFS for storing a data and MapReduce technique to process a data. And through this, we can gain the insights, and that will be more helpful for the institutions to take a better decisions. And the problem statement states that in educational sector today, the big data analytics is being used in order to evaluate, analysis, and visualize and decision making of whole institutional performance. Here we are going to create a web applications which is been used Hadoop to store a data and process it, and we are using a Kerberos to give the security for the Hadoop. And the major goal of this is to raise the institutional overall performance, and that will benefit for both the students and also for the institutions. Existing system means the existing system may be the RDBMS. When we take an example of a RDBMS, it can store only a limited amount of data and to the small extent. The problem with is that we cannot process the large amount of data, and we cannot store also, and thus we cannot analyze, and that will not get the that we cannot get the outcomes properly. And the disadvantages that we experience with the traditional database is that it's very expensive, and we don't have the security by default, and the decision making becomes difficult. And from the proposed system, we are using a big data to store a huge volume of data, that is HDFS, and we process it using a map reduce technique, and the security is being provided to the Hadoop using a Kerberos. The advantages of the proposed system is that we can predict accurately, we can predict the overall performance of the institutions, and we can recommend the courses that is necessary for the students, that where the students is lagging, and the feedback system can be implemented using a sentiment analysis, and the effective tracking of the students for decisions making, and to provide protection against attacks, thefts by this can be achieved using a Kerberos. And the methodologies that we used are a Kerberos. This Kerberos is mainly used to provide the security, and this Kerberos is an authorization network authentication and authorization protocol. This Kerberos is having mainly 3 servers, that is authentication server, ticket granting server, and application server. The client application will request to the authentication server to provide the access to the ticket granting server, and it will in turn gives a secret key to the client application to access the application server. And the second methodology, that is a map reduce technique. Here in map reduce technique, here the input which is in the large file format, which will be stored in the data blocks in Hadoop, will be given as an input to this, and through this the task gets been splitted up, and the process individually and parallelly, so that we can process a data at the faster rate, and we can combine the results which we get from the individual processing. And the third algorithm that we use is a collaborative filtering. This algorithm is being used for recommending a courses to the student based on their interest. Example, if we take an example, the student is if the student scores, if the 2 students scores marks of same marks, and they're viewing courses of similar courses, and the third student who scored the related marks, then for that student also we can recommend the same course. Here this algorithm uses a random forest and decision trees. This is basically and uses machine learning algorithms to effectively recommend the courses by analyzing the similarities between the students and classify into a discrete clusters, and recommendation is based on their likes and the dislikes of the similar students. And the fourth algorithm is a Vedar algorithm. This has been implemented using a Python library, inbuilt library. And here there are 5 steps. That is a data collection. The data collection can be done with the help of a student feedback.
Can you come to your results part and conclude?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't discuss all these algorithms.
These are the results and discussions. Here we are comparing the processing speed in RDBMS and in the big data. If we compare the processing speed, the about 60 to 70% more processing speed we can achieve in a big data. If we take an example of 1 GB of a data, this processing speed in RDBMS would be of 0.1 hours, and the processing speed in big data it would be 0.01. Similarly, these are the different data sizes that we have been taken for the example, and this is the graphical representation of the same. And conclusion, these big data applications enable university to manage a student data, monitor behavior, and make informed curriculum decisions. And the primary security and the privacy problem with this big data application is being provided with the help of Kerberos authentication mechanism. And through this, we can increase our overall institutional performance, student performance. Thank you.
I was not much clear about your data set which you have taken.
Hello?
From where you have taken the data set. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm not much able to understand where you have taken your data set.
Actually, we are not taking the data sets, and we are like in the real world implementation, the data will be comes from the real time environment, ma'am.
So how you have compared the chart you have put in? How you have generated that chart?
Ma'am, this we have been tested with the small data and for the big data, and we analyzed how much processing speed it may
I'm
take.
talking about the same data which you have taken to test and plot that chart.
Yes, ma'am.
You haven't discussed that data. Have you taken that some data from somebody, or you have put in a trial for some certain kind of users?
Ma'am, we are trial with a small data, like with the GB of a data, gigabytes of a data, and with large data, in that we have been taken from the like how much we compared with that, ma'am.
So you must have taken data from somewhere, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So that was basically I was asking from where you have taken the data. And okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Shelja, and thank you, Amita.
Thank you, sir.
So with this, we come to the end of this session. I sincerely thank all our authors for their excellent presentation, contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough, and we on behalf of the whole team thank you for the support during the 8th version and the previous 7 version of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the 9th version as well in 2024. All the presenters would be getting their digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have already been forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Please kindly cooperate with the team of ICT4SD to 2023. I also thank our session chair, Dr. Amita Sharma, for chairing this session, and a token of appreciation to the chair on behalf of team ICT4SD. We thank you, ma'am, for your presence.
Thank you so much.
Do you want to say something, ma'am, as we conclude this session?
Yes, it is really a good session. All the presentations were very well prepared and purely focus on their core research. I just want to wish all the best to all of them, and also thank you for Global Knowledge Research Foundation for giving this opportunity where I can also listen a lot about the different kinds of research and give my suggestions as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I kindly request all our authors to please turn on their cameras so that we can have a quick snapshot. And Please, everyone, please switch on their cameras. So I think only this much. So just a minute. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Amita ma'am. And you may all leave the session. Stay safe, and we'll be happy to see
Thank
you
you.
next year also. Thank you, everyone.